This is a review for Gylt. Spoilers ahead. Gylt is a rated T for teen survival horror puzzle game developed by Tequila Works, a Spanish team that previously developed games like Deadlight and Rime. Originally released in 2019 as a Google Stadia exclusive, it eventually made its way to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox in 2023. In Gylt, you'll find yourself wandering through a nightmare version of your hometown, chasing after your cousin while sneaking around various monsters and uncovering the reason for your cousin's disappearance through notes and dialogue. Along the way, you'll use tools like flashlights, fire extinguishers, and soda cans in combination with elements from the environment to solve puzzles, unlock doors, and defeat bosses. While the game technically has a primitive form of combat via shining your flashlight on certain enemies, you'll spend most of your time sneaking around them trying not to be spotted, similar to games like Outlast or the Amnesia series. For boss fights, you'll either be sneaking around or kiting the bosses into positions where you can activate things in the environment that damage them. In terms of difficulty, I'd classify the game as moderately easy. Most of the time I knew what I was supposed to do or figured it out within a few seconds, but there were some puzzles that made me stop and think for a few minutes. In hindsight, the answer was usually right in front of me. If you've ever played any other stealth game before, then the stealth section should feel pretty par for the course. You wait until the enemies turn around and you move from cover to cover, or you use throwable objects to grab their attention. The game includes puzzles like shining your flashlight at certain areas to make something move, positioning objects to change how a beam of light is reflected across a room, rotating tiles to connect a circuit board, throwing objects to hit out of reach buttons, and moving objects so that you can climb to higher areas. I think the Hello Neighbor style graphics and level design were really strong in this game. The developers did a really good job of making things feel creepy without the use of traditional blood and gore or jump scares. Instead, the game leads heavily into the psychological aspects of bullying, with insults written all over the walls and mannequins set up in scenes where they are harassing or laughing at other mannequins. There's also this theme of being watched by these giant eyeballs and a projector monster that literally shines the spotlight on you. The game does a really good job of making you feel like you're inside the mind of someone who has been relentlessly bullied at school, and everything around you is a constant reminder. The voice acting is really great, and at least 2 out of the 3 main characters, you and your cousin, feel very fleshed out. So here's what worked with this game. The puzzles were engaging enough. I didn't feel bored, but I also didn't feel like I needed to look up a walkthrough at any point. It had enough horror elements to where I was legitimately creeped out during certain points. I remember thinking during the entire game that the mannequins were going to start following me, and they never did, until one specific part of the late game where they subtly turned their heads to track my movement. The stealth sections were fair and exactly what you would expect from a stealth game. The monsters, bosses, and level design were all really creative, and the story was well written and engaging. And here's what didn't work as well. Overall, I didn't feel like there were too many major things that this game did wrong. It felt pretty well polished overall, but here are some of the more minor things that I noticed. The third main character is this old man that operates a cable car ticket booth, and he pops in and out to give your character hints on how they're supposed to proceed with saving your cousin. I never really understood why this guy was there. He kind of just felt like an easy way to make your character understand what they were supposed to do without figuring it out for themselves. I could never tell if he was a real person that was trapped in this nightmare world with us, or if he was just a figment of our imagination, as the game never really explained his background. Your character just kind of accepts him being there without question, and I just wish we had more of a backstory on this guy. I found the boss fights with the projector monster to be inconsistent. Sometimes it would feel like you were right in the spotlight and you'd be fine, while other times you'd start taking damage. It also had a huge slowing effect on you, making it really hard to escape once you messed up and got caught in the spotlight. A lot of the times you just ended up dying and having to try again. I felt like the distance at which your character snaps onto a ladder was slightly too big, as I found myself accidentally climbing onto the ladder when I meant to walk past it on multiple occasions. It wasn't majorly disruptive, but it was definitely a slight annoyance. So who is this game for? The main thing that Gylt has going for it is the story. If you're searching for a teen-friendly, story-driven game centered around bullying, then Gylt is perfect for that. If you enjoyed Hello Neighbor, you'll probably like Gylt. If you're looking for a hardcore horror experience or you want a more mature story, you should probably look to other games. So here's my final verdict. Gylt is worth a playthrough, but probably not worthy of multiple playthroughs. While there are 3 different endings, they aren't different enough from each other to warrant playing through the entire game again just to see them. You can find them on the Gylt Wikipedia page if you're interested after playing the game for yourself. While I'm glad I got to play the game and experience the story, it won't be going on my horror game Hall of Fame anytime soon, as that list is reserved for stuff that's a bit more intense. But overall, the developers did a good job at creating a horror experience within the confines of a rated T for teen game. Full disclosure, I did get this game for free from the weekly free game via Amazon Luna on Twitch. It's currently going for $20 on Steam, the PlayStation Store, and the Xbox Store. I think that's a fair price for the game, and if I saw it on Steam before I had gotten it for free, I think I would have had no problem paying $20 for it given the trailer, videos, screenshots, and overwhelmingly positive Steam reviews.